Hello Internet! Now, as promised, here is my review of Watch Dogs. Now, to start with, I'm going to describe the story and characters that are in the story. The game takes place in a futuristic Chicago. Everything in it's connected on one system, which means any jackass can hack into it and fuck with the traffic lights and cameras and whatever. And the electricity running through the city. And one of these jackasses you play as is Aiden Pierce, some guy in a trench coat, and well, actually that's about it. He's a guy in a trench coat. The game does not do anything to characterize this guy whatsoever, or any of the other characters in the storyline. But there are a few interesting characters in this story. Let's say there's a guy named Jordy who just really gets into every crime that he commits. And yeah, which people will see in the story. I mean, this motherfucker can punch a baby and just explain in great detail why punching babies is awesome. I mean, yes, he's a scumbag, but at least he has character, unlike Aiden. And there's also this other guy named Quinn, and every time he speaks, I swear to God, he's about 2 seconds away from brutally murdering somebody. Like stabbing him in the neck or some other forms of execution that he may or may not do. I haven't finished the game, so I wouldn't know. And then there's another character named T-Bone who I didn't really get to meet because I stopped playing before I got to meet him. And then there's Clara. She doesn't have a personality either, but she is sexy, so she still has something over Aiden. So yeah, I kind of wish I was playing any of these other characters, but I'm not, and that's one of the game's failings, is the main character. And the story doesn't really take off either. I mean, you're trying to find the guy that murdered your niece, and it's a bunch of bullshit that happens along the way, and there's nothing interesting going on at all. So that's another big disappointment of the game, right there. And there's not much I can say about it. I didn't even complete the game. I was far too busy being mad at it for all the bullshit it has me doing. Now, next I'd like to address the big pink elephant in the room that's taking a big dump on the living room carpet. The graphics are not nearly as good as they were in 2012 over an E3, and yeah, this has been the subject of a lot of controversy in this game. Graphics are still nice, sure, but I would have much preferred to have the game that was showcased at E3 of 2012. That's the game people were wanting, that's the game people paid for, and nobody got what they paid for here. What they got was a watered down version of the game that was showcased back then. And understandably, a lot of people are fucking pissed off, including myself. Okay? Now, the city itself is sparsely designed. It's not a lot of detail or effort that went into it. And there's even one part where it's a bunch of twisty paths and freeways you can't find your way around of, so the only hope is to go into the freeway, slam into the sidewall, and for a chance that Aiden just crashing right through the windshield and hopefully get out of this maze here. I'm not exactly sure which part, but I have been in there a couple of times and it aggravated me to no fucking end. Now, I'd like to bring up the main component of this game, which is the hacking. So you can hack into a bunch of different shit in the game, like you can hack into traffic lights, make a 4-car collision happen, and one of the drivers comes out, looks at the traffic lights, and goes, "What the fuck?" And then the car explodes, and then she pisses off. Or you can hack into people's personal information, and I can see what they do, what their income is, what their hobbies are, favorite sexual positions, all that crap. And sometimes you can even hack into people's bank accounts and steal their money. And one time I hacked into a guy's bank account who had anger management issues, and just envisioning him losing his shit over the fact that he has no money and just going on a rampage. Oh my god. Yes, and I'm supposed to be the hero of this game. But you're not, but yeah. And you also hacked into other things like cameras, enemies' grenades that go off prematurely, and that is always funny to watch, let me tell you. And there's a bunch of other things you can hack into, like Roblox bridges, steam pipes that fuck shit up, and you can even make an entire section of the city black out. And it's mainly used for escaping, but really I just like doing it to be a complete douchebag all the time. I'm gonna say someone's grandmother is at home, she's connected to breathing machines and shit, power goes out, oh, whoop, grandma's dead. Yeah, there's many opportunities to be a complete asshole in this game, as I probably already mentioned. Now, this brings me to the combat, and you can use hacking during combat, like with the grenade and stuff, but there's other things you can do to either distract or kill your enemies with. And now the gunplay itself is not that bad. I just wish they had more stealth weapons, because the silenced pistol sucks. It's only got an effective range of about 5 feet, and even the shotguns have a better effective range than that. And other than that, for stealth, you can just walk up to them, melee, take down them, and the stealth gameplay eats in this game. And to make matters worse, the controls are bad. I mean, bad. One example. One time a game prompted me to chase this guy going through the city, and instead of hitting the sprint button, I hit the aim button instead, and then accidentally pointed my gun in the face of a kindergarten teacher. So yeah, that made me look like the bad guy in that scenario. And speaking of which, there's gang hideouts you can take down. You can go in there, you can cause massive destruction throughout, and if you cause enough destruction, someone will call the cops on your ass. Cops will show up and attack you, but not the gang members. Yeah, seriously, the gang members are fighting with the cops against me. Yeah, clearly I am the greatest evil in the world. Yeah. But yeah. And it also brings me to my next point, the driving. The driving is really bad. One of the worst parts of the game. It's floaty as fuck. You always slide around everywhere like you're driving on ice. One time, I turned a corner, it slid about 50 feet, and I hit a cancer patient. Yeah, it wasn't the cancer killed him. It was me! Yeah, and also another example, I turned a corner, but instead of hitting a pedestrian, I hit a Prius. Prius flew that way, and then landed right on top of a widowed mother of 3. So yeah, those kids are going to be orphaned, and yeah, I kind of feel bad, but then again, the crappy driving controls is to blame and not me. So those kids should not hate me for that, alright? That is not my fault. And also, I like to bring up the soundtrack. You can listen to music while you're driving, like every other sandbox out there. Except the music in this game is not very good at all. It's boring, bland, and well, while it's not as bad as, say, Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, Katy Perry, or One Direction, it's still not very interesting at all. I mean, compared to games like Sleeping Dogs or GTA 5, which had really good soundtracks overall, for the most part. And now the worst part of the game, the missions, the campaign. Now in Act 1 it's not so bad and it's tolerable, definitely tolerable, but in Act 2 they start bringing in tailing missions into the mix, and I hate tailing missions. No, really, that was the worst part of Assassin's Creed 4. And I almost gave up on that game, but overall the sailing really tied it all together and saved the game from being crap. Just like the hacking does for Watch Dogs for the most part. I mean, I'd rather play Assassin's Creed 4, but you know what, whatever. This is a new IP and I was really looking forward to this. But the mission that really made me rage quit this game was one mission where I had to guide this big fat motherfucker through a gang hideout. And yeah, this guy cannot sneak worth a shit. Probably because he's so fat. But here's the sick part. If he gets caught, it's game over and you gotta start over from the last checkpoint. Even though he has a gun to defend himself, he doesn't use the gun to defend himself. And also this brings up a couple of interesting questions. One, if I have to sneak, if stealth is necessary here, why do I have to send him? I mean, I've got the stuff I need. I can do all the stuff that is needed to do myself. And I can just sneak in there myself. And that would be much more effective because I actually have stealth weapons and hacking abilities. This other big fat fuck does not. And secondly, what the fuck is stopping me from kicking down the front door, killing every motherfucker in between me and the objective, spraying, redecorating the walls in their own brains, and yeah, here you go, mission complete. That would be much better, but no, they had to go with this setup, and it really irritates the shit out of me. So, my final thoughts on the game. Well, yeah, this game is hit and miss all over the place, and yeah, I can definitely recommend it for the hacking, because you can have a lot of fun with that, and I certainly did. But the main campaign just really kills the game for me. But hell, I might get the game again when the price drops by down to about $17. But yeah, I can't recommend it at the current price. So yeah, that's my critique of Watch Dogs, and until next time, goodbye, Internet.